Good reconnaissance wins the battle before the first shot is ever fired. And to fill that role, the GAR deployed a walker built for terrain where speeders had to slow down and where heavy armor couldn't follow. The ATRT Walker. It's agile and it packs a punch. Does it do the job better than the BARC? And why does every battle it's in look so cinematic? Under its full designation of all-terrain reconnaissance transport, this vehicle made its mark from the earliest days of the Clone Wars. Developed by Quad Drive Yards, the ATRT belongs to the wider all-terrain family of walkers. Some accounts suggesting it was designed in parallel with the ATTE during the Republic's secretive military buildup, a period where Project Icefang was in full motion. In a galaxy dominated by repulsor-lift craft and starships, the AT series represented a more grounded approach to combat vehicle design. Rather than relying on complex hover technology, these machines relied on simple mechanical power to achieve greater flexibility on most terrain types. While the ATTE was built to meet the enemy head-on, and speeders were engineered to race across the battlefield, the ATRT seems designed to fill the gap between them. An aggressive support platform that could go where repulsors struggled, and where heavy armor simply could not. As a bipedal light walker, the ATRT measured roughly 2.9 meters in length, stood 3.4 meters tall, and could reach a top speed of around 75 kilometers per hour across flat open terrain. This size allowed it to be carried by LATs and ATTEs into battle. It also featured cargo attachment points capable of carrying up to 100 kilograms of equipment, such as weapons, ammunition, rations, and general maintenance gear for extended operations.
All these Wookiees are dead. Move to the east. Yes, sir.
At the front, the vehicle mounted an angled armor plate designed to shield its internal modules and offer minimal protection to the rider's lower body. The legs were also partially reinforced, but nothing substantial. Beyond that, the ATRT lacked any meaningful shielding, so in practice, this meant its armor protection was more symbolic than functional. But what it lacked in defense, it compensated for in firepower. Its standard configuration carried a MAAD-38 laser cannon, capable of punching through most battle droids and even light to medium armor targets. But if raw punch wasn't the operator's priority, the walker could be retrofitted with a custom flamethrower, useful for cleaning dense foliage, hostile fauna, or pesky bugs. Or perhaps the mission called for pure suppressive fire. In that case, a modified Z6 rotary blaster could be mounted in place of the cannon, granting the ATRT impressive close-range saturation at the cost of any real armor penetration capabilities. And in some sources, the walker is described as being able to mount a mortar launcher, granting limited indirect fire support. Now, despite its mechanical footfalls, the ATRT came equipped with a sound baffling system to reduce its operational noise to more acceptable levels. Its sensor suit was effective for its reconnaissance role, and its encrypted communication systems allowed the rider to relay information across long distances with reliability. Yet, with a crew of just one rider and no passenger capacity, the ATRT was inherently limited in the number of roles it could fulfill. A limitation that occasionally created problems as battlefield conditions always shifted. Because as we all know, battles are ever-changing. And so comes the question: all-terrain reconnaissance transport or Biker Advanced Recon Commando? Two machines, one mission, but drastically different philosophies. While both platforms were built as support vehicles, the LAT's one-ship-for-all-job approach does not apply here, because their routes are fundamentally different. The BARC speeder is built around one concept: rush. Its entire design revolves around reaching an objective before anyone else, scanning the area, and relaying battlefield intelligence in real time. Its repulsor lift engine gives it high speed over open terrain, a low profile that's harder to detect, reduced sound emissions thanks to its hover propulsion, strong utility roles including medevac via stretcher attachment, and courier capability as well as escort duty. For missions where time is critical, there is no substitute. But repulsor lifts come with limitations. Their engine is vulnerable to shield interference, and if a shield disrupts the hover fields, the BARC, like most speeders, simply cannot pass through. Terrain also plays an equally decisive role. Open plains pose no threat, but try navigating a BARC through tight forest, thick jungles, winding canyons, or ruins. Speeder becomes more of a liability than an asset, and that is where the ATRT steps in. Its speed compared to the BARC is laughable, but the Walker was never designed for a race. It is built around mechanical dependability, legs, joints, and hydraulics that don't care about shield tampering or repulsor lift disruption. In obstructed terrain, the ATRT thrives as it climbs what speeders avoid, navigates jungles and forests easily.
We'll lead the way, Commander.
Its elevated stance also gives the rider a superior line of sight, better awareness of threats, and a more stable firing platform for long-range precision. And with its forward-mounted cannon and optional heavy variants, the ATRT is far better suited for aggressive reconnaissance, light combat, and holding a position while feeding intel to allied forces. It can cross shield gates and operate where speeders lose power. But it has its weaknesses. On open terrain, the ATRT becomes a perfect target. Tall, slow, and completely exposed. The sound baffling is good, but it's far from perfect. So if the mission requires stealth or rush, it simply isn't the right tool. In the end, the choice between the ATRT and BARC comes down to mission parameters. Neither vehicle replaces the other, but quite the opposite. And that is precisely why clone units field both platforms side by side. But based on the footage you've seen, do you think the ATRT was used the way it was supposed to? Even though the ATRT is far less complex than a repulsor lift speeder, that doesn't mean any clone trooper could simply climb on it and ride it into battle. So operating an ATRT requires specialized training, specialized troopers. The Advanced Recon Force, or ARF troopers, were specifically trained to handle these walkers under combat conditions. These clones were taught how to manage the walker's balance, exploit the elevation advantage, and navigate a terrain that would cripple most vehicles. They understood the machine's quirks, its strengths, and its limits. They became an extension of the walker itself. Wearing lighter, more flexible armor, ARF troopers were deployed across a wide range of clone units. They were the ones who transformed the ATRT into an effective reconnaissance platform. But in the end, this platform outlived the very troopers who rode it. The ATRT served throughout the Clone Wars under the Republic and played its part in building the Galactic Empire. During the Galactic Civil War, both the Empire and the Alliance to restore the Republic deployed ATRTs in various capacities. For the Empire, their use gradually declined as the Walker was succeeded by the ATST. The Rebellion, however, continued to use and upgrade the ATRT well into the conflict. And beyond that, the ATRT served into countless planetary militias, frontier defense forces, and local security units long after the fall of both the Republic and the Empire. Simple design, easy maintenance, and rugged construction kept it walking in remote corners of the galaxy where newer machines simply weren't available. The ATRT was a recon walker only on paper, because war rarely followed the manual. It scouted, patrolled, and even stormed fortified positions, and sometimes that did not end well. But that's the ATRT. Another tool stretched far beyond its design, and a great counterbalance to the BARC.